Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to SimRacing International and welcome to round number 8 in season 11 of the SimRacing International GT3 Championship here on a Thursday night. We're on the B split broadcast, 2 broadcasts running side by side over the course of the evening, as is the volume of entries for this championship. Our good friend Paul Walsh will be over on the A split for the evening as we arrive here at the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit. It's Chaz Draco and Dara Thacker in the commentary box together once again. Dara, another wonderful circuit before us here. Welcome back, by the way. What do you reckon we're going to see tonight? Because I think this is a bit of a thorn in people's sides, I reckon.
I think, well, you hear the Nürburgring and you get scared as a driver, don't you? But thankfully we're not on the Norschleife, so we're not going to be going around some of the green hell. Just the slightly technical and difficult Grand Prix layout that does, throw up its own challenges. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes tonight. One hour race to get our teeth into, but a track with all sorts of characteristics, very low speed corners, very high speed corners, and overtaking spots that never really feel safe, do they?
No, they absolutely do not. It can be very, very difficult. This is how the Premier standings look at the moment then, and it is Robin Aston back to the top after taking that win in race 2 at Bathurst. He's needed that for a while. He's not been on the podium in a long time. Neither had Victor van Zijs, to be fair, and he didn't quite make it. 5th place for him in race 2 at Bathurst. Dean Sheasby with another up and down race night, and 22nd and a DNF for Craig Hewlett. He had a really tough night at the office. Jan Osberg went quite well. He's currently 5th in the championship. But it was Barry Wenman and Scott Kostrick that got the all-important podiums in round number 10, and those two have now made their way into the top 11 and into our graphics. But over in the Evo standings, it's all shaking around now, Dara. Very interesting scenario.
Yeah, it really is getting to that point where I think we're starting to see who's emerging as the contenders, and Michael Rose absolutely is that. They were kind of pulling away in the last couple of weeks, needs to pick up that pace once again. Stuart Rice still bubbling around the bubble. But it is weird how this championship panned out. You've got the likes of James Fraser coming back into it towards the end. But so many drivers have been up towards the front of the field, but haven't been able to be there consistently. Only really Michael Rose and Danny Weir have been able to do that. Yeah,
it's interesting when you look at Danny Weir's results, actually. He's either 11th, 9th, 12th, DNF, or on the podium. So he either has a difficult night, or he's right up there and scoring points. So, yeah, I'm intrigued to see how he gets on over the course of this one here tonight. But we're here at the delightful Nürburgring Grand Preis-Strecke, and I'm excited to see how the home advantage works out. At the moment, looking at Klaas Wellen, looks like it's going well, and for him, home advantage indeed. The German, who I believe is the only German in the field, actually, is right at the top with completely unquestionable efficiency, very much sticking to the stereotype. But look at that gap in Evo, though. Downing and Rhodes, who has really started to prove himself now. 0.004 of a second between the two. Believe it or not, in the overall standings, there's actually a car between them as well. Daniel Mellor on an identical time to Joshua Downing.
Yeah, that's crazy. Over the course of a lap like this, nearly 2 minutes. But I have to say, Chaz, you've opened the broadcast with a class joke, haven't you?
Yeah.
Keep that up. But yeah, I mean, not long left to go in this qualifying session. It's a very long qualifying session, of course. Drivers can kind of play the session as they want to, and it means that sometimes we won't see too many improvements in the final 10 minutes of the session, as most drivers have gone for some of their lower fuel runs earlier on. But either way, still an interesting battle towards the front of the field, and realistically those gaps aren't huge. Less than 0.4 from the top 7 is, I think, closer than we've seen most of the way through this season.
Yeah, it is very, very close, and I'm intrigued to see how it closes up in the races as well, because with everybody being on such a level pace, it's going to be difficult to overtake around here. It is a track that promotes really good racing. It's never one that really stands out to me as a track that I always want to drive, but it really is a good racetrack for door-to-door racing, especially in these GT3 cars. They really do suit this circuit. And we'll see if we can go on board, actually. Let's just see if there's anybody. Yes, Graham Vivers is nearing the end of a lap, so we'll go on board with Graham and we'll see how it looks from his perspective. We go on to the Mercedes with it whining away. A little bit of corrective oversteer there out the final corner, down the start-finish straight. It's a very wide start-finish straight, but compared to the rest of the lap, it feels quite narrow down here. A number of the times on the qualifying overlay at the bottom not working for some reason. I think there's a few cars that have come into the pit lane and decided to then basically finish their laps. So it's not moving them along as such. This arena section is really difficult. There's more undulation here than you seem to see from the TV cameras. You're going back down the hill. The car compresses, and Graham Vivers is around. He loses the back end of the car into the left-hander, just showing how deceptively difficult that part of the track really is there, Dara. Not easy to get that right.
It's so difficult, I think, through there as well, to be able to know exactly how hard to push the car. You're kind of just playing on the throttle, waiting for it to feel acceptable to really push down on it, without it ever feeling safe, doesn't it? I mean, turn 1, very slow, and obviously that big bump as you go through the apex of the corner, and into turn 2, where it's just kind of like a game of chicken of how much you're willing to push, then through turn 3, which is ever slowing, and then you feel like you can start going, but you have to almost check up a little bit. Not really a brake, just a lift off of the throttle. to get going through 4. It's a weird section of corners, and I feel like it's one of those kind of, across the entire calendar for the season, one of the places where you don't feel like you're going to lose too much time, but you can lose heaps of time if you get it wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. It is one of those circuits that bites back hard if you get it wrong. And let me tell you, that first corner, there is a lot of undulation around there. I've been fortunate enough to go around this circuit over a couple of times over the years in a bio-LNG powered Iveco S-Way road-going truck, like a full tractor unit. And let me tell you, the bumper bars do not forgive you when you jump over that curb on the inside line. Our pace truck driver Frank in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship does not linger. Not at all. We actually did what he called a fast lap of the circuit as well, and let me tell you, when you've got a 500 horsepower tractor unit underneath you, it's scary. But I'm going to just continue name dropping now, sorry. But I had the additional pleasure of being a passenger in one of the race trucks with Antonio Albacete, 3-time European champion and Spanish racing legend around this track. And let me tell you, at speed in a truck is a terrifying prospect, is this place. These curbs in particular didn't really make too good a friend with the suspension, but it is a fantastic racing circuit. Daniel Meller has just improved up to 10th position. And just to help the people at home, Dara, you'll notice on the left-hand side of the screen that the car highlighted that we're now looking at is now grey on the left. I decided to make a change, and just to make life easier for everybody. Yes,
and me as well.
To
see which car we're looking at.
Especially in quali, because in quali the details don't come up at the bottom. And I even though I know what car I've clicked on, I still find that difficult.
And I'm frantically looking at the number, looking at the time page, thinking, who's that while speaking, and then inevitably getting it wrong and then correcting myself, which is a worryingly regular occurrence at this point. But yeah, good to know that we've got, or at least, well, you're helping me out a little bit. We have 48 cars in the circuit in this, or not right now, but I mean in the session for this qualifying 45 minutes, and it means that it's going to be a very busy track by the time we get into the main race. The thing about this Nürburgring GP layout, though, is because it's only 2 minutes long, it almost feels shorter than it is, really. I don't even know how to describe it. It is a near 2 minute lap, but yet you wouldn't really put it on the same par as, Spa, would you? It feels much shorter than that and much more enclosed. I think that's partially the characteristic of the circuit, with it being almost as narrow as the GT3 Corniche circuit. In Saudi Arabia, but yet far longer than you realise, right?
Yeah.
So it means that I don't think we're going to be seeing much lapping occur. Obviously, there's not going to be any worry about cars tripping over each other the longer we go into the race. But it is a track where it's narrow in parts, and particularly up here through the Schumacher Airs. It's not going to be one where we're going to be seeing too many side-by-side moments in places you wouldn't necessarily expect.
No, I think it's going to be down to people trying to outbrake one another and just really make the moves in terms of, well, showing their nose before the corner to get into the head of their opponent. I think there's going to be a lot of mind games on this circuit here tonight, and I'm interested to see who's got the upper hand with those mind games and who can really throw it about. We spoke to James Fraser after Bathurst. He didn't have too bad a night there. He's currently 10th fastest, which isn't really a reflection on how well he did at Bathurst, but he's only 0.6 of a second down, which is amazing. The top 4 in the Evo class are only separated by just over 0.5 of a second. It's amazing. Klaas Wellen has a 0.2 of a second advantage. Andre Muntin going well at the moment in the McLaren. It seems like the Corvette is the car to be in. There's 3 of them on the circuit, and 2 of them are first and second overall, not just in the Premier class.
Yeah, and it really is going to show that, in every single round that we have, there's 1 or 2 cars that do feel like their characteristics are more suited to it, and it seems like Corvette is going pretty well around here tonight. Same can really be said for the Porsche over in that Evo class, but it's been the dominant car in the Evo class over the course of the season. Hold the phone though, Andre Muntian has gone to the top of the tree, 600ths in hand, but the Romanian driver gone fastest with only, a handful of minutes left.
Lovely stuff that by Andre, very well done indeed. He'll be over the moon to have set a time as decent as that this late on. We have 48 cars in the session ahead of tonight, which is great to see. Another very packed grid. The retention for the championship has been awesome this season. We admittedly in previous seasons gone by have seen maybe in the last couple of rounds of the championship, you'd get maybe 30, sort of high end of 20s in terms of the cars, but the retention's been absolutely mega this season, and hats off to James Bostock and his wonderful team here at SimRacing International, formerly Evolution Sim Racing. They have done a great job at running a championship that people don't just want to enter, but they want to remain in and compete for until the very end of the season, and it's a lovely sign to have. And from one series organiser to another, I can tell you that it's a lovely sign, really is, to see so much retention. Danny Weir, well, he needs a bit more luck tonight than he had last night in Formula CDM, doesn't he, Dara? He didn't have the easiest of nights at Interlagos last night in the little Indy PM18.
He didn't. I think he'll be looking for a little bit of redemption tonight, but he's gone very well in this series, hasn't he, over the course of the season? That's why he's in the championship battle. I think he'd want a little bit better than P6, but he's less than 3/10 off the fastest time. I mean, Hetty's 100th off the par. We're talking centimetres, really,
Yeah.
by the end of the lap, and yet he's third. He's not even on the front row. It's incredible, really. Rob Gregg is under a blink of an eye slower across 2 minutes worth of racing than Josh Downing, and yet he's fourth. I mean, it's crazy when you think about the gaps so close together, but when you have a hyper-competitive championship and you have over 120 or over 100 sign-ups, like we had here in SRI for this season, you're going to get competitive grids. It's great that we've had this all the way through the season, as you kind of touched on before.
Yeah, definitely. It's lovely to see it still thriving, and, you know, the drivers don't have to just turn up to score points. They still have to turn up and put the effort in, you know, and have a good race over the course of the evening. So excited to see how it goes for people. Thomas Weston, since he changed to the Aston Martin, has unfortunately not really lit the timing screens up as much as we expected. It's a lovely looking car in the very simple livery, but he's not really been there to properly upset people near the front of the order like we saw in the Porsche. You know, there were some races earlier on in the season where he was the pace setter and he was the one to beat, but this Aston just, it seems to make him a bit more comfortable, but it's just not giving him what he wants, is it?
No, it's not. Not many people have gone to that Aston Martin. I mean, it came into the system a few months ago now. Quite some time ago, realistically. A couple of in-game seasons, and it's been picked up by as much as I thought it would by many guys. It doesn't necessarily seem like it's the car to go for. Which is interesting, because normally when a car comes into iRacing, it becomes a little bit OP for some time before the BOP really comes and, you know, works its magic to keep it, you know, a bit of a level playing field. But it almost seems that the reverse has happened in this case.
Yeah, it is strange. I mean, it's a good business model by iRacing to make the new car faster by that little bit, just to get people to buy it. But then, yeah, it seems like they've not really gone for it in this occasion with the Aston. I remember the McLaren. When the McLaren turned up, everybody went, oh yeah, easily fastest. And the McLaren is a fantastic platform all around the world in real life as well. It is a very, very fast race car, and it certainly looks it too. The McLaren 720S. This is the Evo version of the car, so a slight change in terms of the aerodynamics. There's more canards on the front of it. There's a reconfigured diffuser on the rear end of the car, but it's basically just a rework underneath. I remember when Ferrari actually changed from the 488 to the 488 Evo 2020, they called it, and even in their social media, I think they said, we promise it is different. It's not the same car. Rob Gregg has just been off the circuit and back on it. Stuart Rice, I think, has just... No, he's just had a drama but come back on. But we're getting into the final seconds of quali now, and I think the drivers are starting to realise that the session is done here, Dara. It looks like it is all good for Andre Muntien, and he's going to take pole position from Klaas Wellen, taking it away from the German on home soil.
Yeah, indeed, but Klaas is still going to be on the front row of the grid, so he's still going to have a good run towards turn one. And outside of Monza, I think of all European circuits, this is the turn one that you look at with probably the most interest, right? It's such a pinch point into turn one. So easy to go wide and overcook it, so easy to go deep and smash into about 5 cars. We've seen that many, many times before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Got to be so careful. But I guess with the only singular race start, we're not having 2 30-minute races tonight, just the one hour race, means that I think people are going to be a little bit more cautious, because they almost don't want to mess it up completely for themselves. There isn't really that kind of, we'll kind of push and see how it goes in this one and get a better grasp for the second start of the evening. You've got to get it right on the one and only time. So you've got to be careful, I think, how you approach turn one. Interesting to see how careful some people go.
Yeah, you've got to really just go for it in this race. You don't get a chance to sort of develop your race evening and try again, like you say. So I think we're going to see an interesting approach to this from people, because we're getting to the sharp end of the championship now as well, where they have to be really careful over losing championship points, because there's not long left to recuperate any that you lose by making a mistake or having an accident. So it's an interesting time, to say the least. We've got Thomas Weston, last car on the circuit, and no improvement there. 1.5 seconds down for Monsieur Weston. He heads down towards turn 1, and I think, to be fair, he's just waiting for the sim to kick him out. He's just going to keep driving and driving and driving until the sim stops him on the spot. Don't think there's any other cars to finish a lap. Rob Gregg is the only other car on the circuit, and he's only a third of the way around the lap. Actually, he's actually stopped just where Thomas is now. Apparently, should see him somewhere. There he is, just at the bottom shot. So these guys will now get booted over into the race session, and we'll see how this goes for them all. You'll notice the difference that they've been able to complete their qualifying laps, because this is just one straightforward race where it's quite simply practice, qualifying and race. They get the full session and the end of it to complete their laps. When they do the 2 races in one night, it uses iRacing's heat racing system, which means that the session, as soon as it hits 0, that is it. Job done, session over, no more time allowed. So it keeps to a very tight clock, does the heat racing system. But we've got an interesting mix of drivers in the top 4 positions, 4 different nationalities. And I think, to be fair, quite feisty drivers as well. But 2 of the Phoenix Racing cars, albeit from different parts of the garage, together on the front few positions. Should be interesting, that.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, there's even 6 flags in the top 6. Dean's English, Grant's Scottish, and Craig's British. So, I mean, pick your pick, right? But yeah, I mean, it is great to see that we have so many people in this championship. And I mean, it is a really wide-ranging championship. We've got Brits, we've got Andre, of course, the Romanian on pole class, German on the front row, Toby, Dutch, we've got Jan Osberg, the Swede, we've got Pete Paeva, the Brazilian. There's so many names and different nationalities in this championship. Just go show how this has grown over the last 11 seasons.
Yeah, it's great to see. Really great to see. And it's interesting, actually, that away from Split B, there's not a single South African flag in here, whereas on the Split A broadcasts, we very often see a number of the South African drivers, especially the RDSA boys as well, Barbecue Bread Racing, I remember, also bringing a lot of South African drivers in. But this is how qualifying finished, and you can see that it's interesting to have a number of the Evo drivers all really close together a bit further down the order, because sometimes we get one Evo driver that's a number of positions away from the rest. This time round, though, we've got Joshua Downing and Michael Rhodes just 0.005 of a second apart. Chris Petty and Rob Gregg right behind them. Should be interesting to see how that all pans out, with a few of the Premier drivers thrown in as well. Thomas Weston, Simon Clifton, Jordan Maymar, they're all drivers that have been on the podium or there or thereabouts recently, so no slouches in all of that.
Not at all. And I think this is going to be a really interesting start to the race, particularly towards the back, because you do get that mix between our Premier and our Evo drivers, because they're kind of in different races at the same time. They're not really going to be fighting. If a Premier driver overtakes an Evo, they're not going to be getting any points for it. It's just going to keep themselves more competitive against drivers in their own class. It's always difficult, isn't it, to judge how they're going to race it?
Yeah, definitely. Because sometimes you'll see them give away the positions, they'll move out of the way, and then other times they'll just go, nah, I'm just going to fight this until the cows come home. Denny Plurger has changed car. It's very subtle. As you can see, the MJK SimRacing Lamborghini, chrome and neon green. Very, very subtle race car indeed. Seemingly no number boards on it, though. Don't think the guys are a fan of number boards. You can see his number 12 just slightly printed on the side of the car, but yeah, they care not for numbers by the look of it. There's Jan Osberg in that gorgeous Vulcan Fasteners Porsche. I really do like their livery. It's very classy. It's still quite busy, but it still looks like a sort of retro livery at the same time. It reminds me of one of the teams from, I don't know if you're old enough to remember this game, actually, the old Toka race driver game. There used to be a team in there that I can't remember the name of now, but they had a livery similar to that. I wonder if there is any inspiration there.
I don't. I must be too young, because I don't recall.
That upsets me.
I am in my 3rd decade, though.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You made it.
Thank you. I appreciate that greatly. I'm trying my best. Anyway, sorry, I don't know where that really
I caught you off then, didn't you?
I didn't expect you to congratulate me.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Dara, you get to the point where I am, and you every time you wake up, you go, "Oh, not again." So, enjoy it while you can.
I'm doing my best, and I mean, I'm looking at Jan Rosberg, and if I can look like that and still enjoy my sim racing, I'm going to be a happy man, because he has been a staple in this series for a few seasons now, and yeah, it's great when you get some of the guys. You know, I've commentated on loads of series, and you get such a wide range of drivers, all ages, all backgrounds, and it's great because you get to see so many different people loving their sim racing for all different reasons, and being able to get involved. And that's why this is such, I think, a special community.
Yeah, it's really interesting actually, because while everybody is all separate and they're in their own rigs, in their own houses, or wherever they may keep the rigs, it's a very social environment still. It's really, really great. There's always a sense of togetherness in a race because, like I say, even though you are spread out all over the world, not even all over the country, you are still all doing the same thing at the same time in a very small virtual space. You know, you're in the same sort of proximity to one another on a virtual racetrack, and it is a very beautiful thing that we get to do it in such a realistic fashion, and, well, even more so that it looks so realistic to us as well, broadcasting it from the outside. You know, I'm sure, just like you, we've seen a number of people over our time broadcasting where they've had to be sort of reminded that it's not real life sometimes. And I think iRacing, just to sort of nail this home again, it's a rant that I used to go on a lot. iRacing looks the most natural out of all the sims, I think. It broadcasts the most naturally out of all of them, because of the way the cameras move. It's not perfectly fixed to the car. The car doesn't do any weird jolty movements. It looks like the camera is actually being operated by a human because it washes around and it's dampened, as we say. So the car isn't always fixed perfect in the middle of shot, and that's what sort of confuses people sometimes and makes them think that it's the real thing. I could go on about it forever, but I'm not going to, because we're going to look at the grid. The one and only grid here tonight, and it is Andre Muntien on pole position. He's alongside Klaas Wellen, the German, hoping to take a good result on home soil. Then it's Toby Hardiek. He's alongside Dean Sheesby. It was great to see Toby get a win back at Bathurst. Grant Miller and Craig Hewlett start side by side on row 3, with Barry Wenman and Graham Vivers starting on row 4. Then it's Scott Kostrick alongside Jan Osberg, who we were just ogling a moment ago. Daniel Meller next up with Victor Van Zeist alongside him. Then it's Robin Aston and Andrew Larkman, the championship leader, once again not qualifying right near the sharp end. Next up we have Steve Hughes, he's alongside Lewis Hammond. Then we have Joshua Downing and Michael Rhodes, the top two in the Evo class. Then it's Chris Petty and Rob Gregg right behind. Thomas Weston and Jan Nage are next up. Then it's Simon Clifton and Jordan Maymar ahead of Danny Weir and Denny Plurger in that very subtle Lamborghini. Steve Rubino and Stuart Rice are next ahead of Paul Matty and Rob Mackay. Then it's James Fraser and Stephen Kershaw on row 16. Then we have Matthew Hunter and Pete Piver. Next up is Philip Harris. He's alongside David Collier. Then we have Nathan Healy just behind Andrew Fellows. Martin Brandon is next ahead of David Pilcher. Then it's Matt Stace. And alongside him is Madam Huff, Rachel Huff. I knew I was going to do that at one point this season. Then it's Chell and Kent on the 22nd row, Hoffman and Jones and Newton and Reiser completing our grid. I had to speed it up a bit there because they are already coming out of the final chicane, Dara. Any assumptions here, sir?
I don't think you can make assumptions with so many cars on the grid, especially at turn 1 at the Nürburgring. But this is going to be frantic towards turn 1, there is no doubt about that. And with so many close times in qualifying, it's not much to separate them off the line, is it?
Not at all. They creep up to the line then. Andre Muntien on the right-hand side, ready to launch us. And the SimRacing International GT3 Championship from the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit gets underway. And it's a lovely launch by Muntien. And straight away, Klaas Wellen moves over to the right-hand side to try and defend what inside line he can hold on to. Graham Vivers looking down the inside. One of the McLarens going really hot into there as well. 5 wide in the background. They are coming to an absolute stop in there. It looks like a big move down the inside by Clifton. One of the Porsches is around in the middle. Is that Rob Gregg? It is. And facing the wrong way, Denny Plurger gets clipped into Danny Weir and car 91, which was Chris Petty. So a number of the Evo drivers that were right at the front have lost out in the opening moments. 2 Corvettes side by side for second position. Klaus Vellen and Dean Sheesby having a good old scrap. Lots of movement further down. Stuart Rice has gained 7 places in the start of this race in his BMW. He survived the incident and got away from all of it. But other than that spin there, actually, Dara, that's a pretty clean start, to say the least.
Yeah, generally very nicely done. Only a couple of cars really falling as a big victim. Mr. Rice in the Evo class nearly came, or ended up falling a long way down the order, but he managed to avoid everything that happened into turn 1. Let's look down the order. It all really has single filed out car, the road. No, really only lasting down just into the gravel momentarily. We make our way up the Schumacher Rest for the first time, but yeah, as we expected, kind of single filing out by this part of the circuit. Whether people can make moves down here. Joshua Downey looking for the lead in the Evo class.
He absolutely is. Round the outside of the McLaren and Michael Rhodes. Michael took both race victories back at Bathurst. He was buzzing about it. And now he's trying to take his 3rd in a row. As around the outside, he clings to what momentum he can. This is great stuff. They've got a couple of cars, 3 of them in fact, between them and Stuart Rice in the BMW a bit further back. This is great racing between the Porsche and the McLaren, though. A little bit of a kiss of wheel arches as they head into the chicane. Are they going to make it through there nice and tidy? Yes, they are. Simon Clifton going down the inside of Steve Hughes. He makes the move. I think Hughes loses a bit more ground. Stuart Rice now trying to get past Thomas Weston in the Aston. He's literally following the car he got rid of as Weston goes down the inside. Hughes didn't see him. It's a lovely drift, and Steve manages to fight another day.
He does, but it's just not what he needed off this opening lap. All of a sudden he's 3 wide towards turn 1. Rob Mackay trying to pick his way through all of this as well, on that inside line. But Hughes all the way now down towards the back of the field after what was just a bit of an innocuous moment. Dave Collier getting involved a little bit into the corner and then gets dragged across. It's just a mess, isn't it, really? One thing leads into another. People can't really avoid it, especially if they're slowing down when there's clearly a car sideways off the road. But these things happen, particularly into that final chicane where it does get quite tight.
Yeah, that was a little bit messy, to say the least, there from, well, just about everyone. So unfortunately, a number of them falling by the wayside. But we're back underway with Stuart Rice now, trying to hold on ahead of Jordan Maymar and Steve Rubino, 2 Premier Class drivers. But Stuart will want to, I'm sure, try and get up into 2nd place in class. He's right behind Thomas Weston and Simon Clifton. Lead battle very much on up there. But Muntian still leading us overall. Klaus Vellen has gotten back in front of Dean Sheesby and Craig Hewlett. So great job from him, actually. Although it was Toby Hardiett that was going well earlier on. He has now dropped down into 5th position and has a slowdown penalty in his Mercedes. So interesting to see that there's still so much shifting of positions inside that top 10. Robin Aston, 15th overall at the moment. He's lost 2 places. The championship leader is once again doing this thing where he just doesn't stand out at the start of the night, but we'll keep our eye on him and see where he finishes at the end, because he just manages to score points just somehow, doesn't he?
Yep, somehow, some way, just keeps it out of trouble generally, and we'll see if he can replicate that again tonight. Really in the mid-pack though, in that Premier Class for the time being, Steve Rubino looks to try and put himself up the order. Jordan Maymar his target, but not this time into that final chicane. We're using that tighter final chicane, the heavier braking zone, to maybe create a little bit more overtaking. The other layout generally used for that Norschleife loop, but Rubino not able to make a move into the final corner. Maybe at turn 1 is his next chance, as we see the front runners not going for it there themselves.
Craig Hewlett now back up into 4th place. Had a bit of a nightmare night back at Bathurst, and he'll be hoping that this one goes a little bit smoother for him with just the one race. It looks like Simon Clifton and Robin Aston have had a drama. Robin Aston is around and facing the wrong way. There's damage. Is there on the back of the Porsche? Is that? Oh yes, big damage. That right rear is very, very broken, and I think Simon Clifton might have had something to do with this. Let's see. Clifton, yeah, way too hot, and bang into the championship leader. And that is, oh dear, that is not going to go down very well at all. And I don't know why he's flashing the lights. A line of commentary that it's not a pleasant one, I'll just pre-warn you all, but one that really stuck with me was David Addison back in, God, I think it was like 2010. There was a gentleman, oh boys, what are you doing? Gentleman by the name of Vadim Kogai, basically a very rich dentist with a Ferrari, almost crashed into a digger that was getting a car out of the gravel under waved yellows. David Addison said that's going to go down like a cup of cold sick with the race director, and he was absolutely right, it did. But Dean Sheesby and Craig Hewlett are getting a bit friendly with each other here, aren't they? What was that about?
Yeah, not too sure. Having a tussle, should we say, down in towards the bottom end of the circuit. Hewlett on that inside line, sorry, trying to put himself up the order, and then he's looking for that racing line. Cheesby, but there is a car there. Either way, it is Hewlett who's come out in front. Dean's going to have to try and make that move once again, but they've lost touch to the top two. And Muntian and Willem decided to get away a little bit in the opening stages here. That gap is about 2 seconds. And if they can work together here, and Hewlett and Cheesby continue to fight, this could start to become a really quite important lead for these two to try and pick up these, or keep these positions towards the end.
Yeah, definitely. These two need to try and work together for a little bit to at least open up that advantage, because they know just how quick the likes of Hewlett and Cheesby are behind them as well. So they can't take anything for granted at this point. But we ride on board with the race-leading McLaren right now, with the lovely sight of the Phoenix Racing Blue Corvette just behind. Joshua Downing still leading in the Evo class and doing a great job of it. He just missed out on that incident earlier on, by the way. I don't think we quite picked up on that at the time, but it did just tick in my brain. If we watch this, this is how close he came to being wiped out by this incident here. And this is how close Robin Aston came to not being wiped out by this incident. Look at that. Out of nowhere, RKO, and, well, Josh lives to fight another day, to say the least.
See it again. I mean, let's see what he can do from this. I mean, he's got the gap, hasn't he? And of Rhodes and of Rice head and Naj. So see if he can build off this. I mean, it's interesting when you get towards the lead of the Evo class, because you start, again, mixing with those Premier cars. So you always start to get a bit of a buffer, which can help you out. Now we'll see if he can use that to his advantage. Danny Weir running towards the rear end of the field now. After that moment, through the Schumacher S, will lose out another spot. Cheesby had a slowdown penalty as well to serve. We'll have to keep an eye on, but this is what happened to Danny.
Yeah, he had big damage on the car. Oh, he's had a spin, but that looks hardware related with a blink like that. Now, I know a lot of people know that the hardware the blinking is mainly down to connection, but sometimes it can be that the hardware is obviously not communicating to the server in the correct time. So Danny had that moment, and oh dear me, there's been another drama at the front between our two favourite drivers. So that's Danny's first moment, but there was another one, so sorry. We will get back to that, because Danny Weir lost places to Nathan Healy just after it. We're back where we were, but you'll see what happens here. And Danny had a lot of damage on that Porsche at the bottom of the hill. Nathan Healy down the inside, little kiss with the Lambo, and again a drama. So something not quite going right there for Danny. And I'm really hoping that he doesn't have a big blink and then a big crash down here. Matthew Hunter is the Aston Martin just ahead, and Healy's going to hit him into him. Oh. Well, Hunter got away from that, to say the least. He got away lightly there. But then, this has happened, Dara. This is Dean Cheesby and Craig Hewlett not long after.
Yeah, we know that Craig had that slowdown penalty. Dean getting much closer into the chicane. Does he serve it on the exit? He does. I think just to try and prevent the major loss of time. Oh, and then he... Oh, hello. And all of a sudden somebody else appears. Well, I wasn't expecting that. And then Dean kind of... Well, I mean, he comes across, doesn't he?
Oh, Craig.
And Craig... but, I mean, I wasn't really on the outside. Dean kind of a victim of his own mistake there.
Yeah.
Oh, careful. Please be careful.
I agree with you there. I think, that's great by Grant Miller down the inside. Cheers, boys. But, yeah, Dean was on the outside. I just don't know where he expected Craig to go. And then, yeah, Craig felt the need to slam on the brakes. Oh, God, that's scary. I mean, I get that he didn't want to, wash all the way across the circuit. So, fair play, but, yeah. It does scare you sometimes, doesn't it? There's another one. Another drama. Andy Chell and Tiago Reiser have had some sort of issue here. This is Chell down towards the first corner. Oh. Where are you going, Andy? What is he doing? Now, he did that in Virginia. Yeah, he did that in Virginia in the wet, and we sort of excused it then because nobody could see anything, but that was slightly different. These two will be happy. Andre Muntian and Klaus Wellen. They are first and second, and they are 3.5 seconds now ahead of Grant Miller and the rabble behind. So they've got a good margin over everybody else. Grant is hoping to run his own race. He's got 2 of his stablemates behind him, though, Graham Vivers and Toby Hardiak. So it's a bit of a Phoenix takeover at the moment, with 4 of them in the top 5. The guys, I'm sure, will be very happy with that. But Barry Wenman, after having a great result back at Bathurst, he's going to want to change that, isn't he?
He will. And you always want to get those good results, especially after a disappointing outcome. You want to make sure that those, almost the turnover of bad results is high. And by that I mean, you don't back up a bad result with another bad result. You don't let it fester.
Yeah.
Take root in your form. So to get a good result after a bad result, I think it would be really positive for him. And how many times have we seen? I mean, you can see it in all sports. It goes back to form. You've had so many teams will get it in football particularly. The second you start losing, that mindset starts to creep in a bit. You've got to try and avoid replicating that week after week, and so I think Barry needs to make sure that he gets a good result tonight, but he's doing well so far.
Ooh, we've got some battles going on here. Larkman with Craig Hewlett involved as well, right together. Craig Hewlett still trying to get back around these guys. It still says he's a privateer for some reason, but he's definitely not. I'm not quite sure why it's come back up as that, but side by side once again with Joshua Downing. Now Josh needs to be careful here because he is fighting for the lead in the Evo class. He doesn't want to fight these guys too hard. I mean, I say that, and clearly he does. There's so many side-by-side moments since that first hairpin, though. It's so scary. There's about 48 different lines that you can take through there. Craig Hewlett showing Josh that he's going to take 2 at once as they head into the left-hander. And then down the inside goes Thomas Weston. We're going to go on board with Michael Rhodes here, because in this McLaren, he's getting a front row seat of Joshua Downing's struggle to keep these Premier Class drivers behind. And he's just watching him drop time. He's almost got that sort of raised eyebrow look about him as Michael Rhodes, as if to say, I'd smell a position here. And he definitely could take one if he just keeps his head on. But he's got Stuart Rice right behind him. Oh, that's getting messy up there, though, isn't it?
Yeah, side by side in a part of the track where it's going to get a little bit dicey when you get into the bottom end of the circuit. The lowest point, Thomas Weston's in the middle of it. Don't send it down the inside there. I think if anything, he's just missed the braking point.
Yeah.
And panic, to be honest with you, because he wouldn't want to make it too wide there. Will lose out in the end to Larkman going on the outside. Great move from him. And Larkman's going to try and keep it in with Joshua Downing. Downing wants to avoid this at all costs because he's still leading the Evo class. And he's fighting with drivers who are getting minor points in the Premier class. They're not really involved in it. Stuart Rice is another one of those drivers who's going to be panicked about this situation because you just do not want to get caught up in someone else's incident when it's this important for your own championship aspiration.
Oh, incidents like that. Thomas Weston pushing that little bit too hard, clips the curb. Larkman's been boxed in there. Michael Rhodes now goes to the inside. They're nearly 3 wide in there. Stuart Rice is doing the right thing here. He's backing out slightly and thinking, nope, this is not going to work into the chicane. Actually, that might be why. Jordan Maymar now down the inside says, thank you very much. Stuart's still running wide. There's clearly another car in this. Jan Nage is around here somewhere. Michael Rhodes now finds himself on the inside. Nearly contact with Jordan Maymar. He's back down the inside of Larkman. This is incredible mixing between these two classes here. This is one hell of a cocktail that you don't want to be a part of. Car off in the background. That was Rob Gregg getting spun. Rob Gregg in the MRC Porsche. He gets spun around, I think, by Rob Mackay. They were taking the mick in the chat earlier saying Rob Mackay is usually the one that spins, not the one that spins other people. Rob with his nose down the inside. Oh yeah, he has to avoid the pit wall at some point, Rob. So Mr. Gregg, unfortunately, has a little bit of a nudge, and around he goes. Michael Rhodes still trying to put the little nose of that McLaren down the inside of that absolute housing estate of a BMW, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it's an entire terrace, isn't it, quite frankly? It's huge. But Michael doing his best to try and stay involved in the battle. Stuart Rice kind of there. Oh, hello there as well. Thomas Weston. Thomas West off for the moment because he found the barrier. That's at the exit of turn 4. He must have been in contact there. There's no way he's lost it on the rear end and travelled that far, surely. Let's see it. Maybe he has. Well, there you go. On the curb, and it just slides all the way into that barrier. And yeah, bit of a moment. Something he's going to look back on kindly, I think.
Oh, dearie me, that is a car a lap down. It's not actually, that's Stephen Kershaw, who is now fighting for position with Thomas Weston after all of the time that he's lost. back to this, because this is one of the best battles that we've got going on track right now. It is Michael Rhodes. Oh no, Andre Muntian gets a slowdown penalty. He's lost the race lead as well, by the way, to Klaas Wellen. And, well, since then, he's been pushing very, very hard indeed. And it has not gone his way. This is how Klaas made the move. Oh, it's going to be nice and straightforward here. Down into turn 1 in the slipstream of that McLaren. And the American Ferrari moves over to the right-hand side. Great respect that by Muntian, just to say, look, you can have the room, no stress. And now Klaas has got a 2-second lead over the Romanian driver. After that slowdown penalty, Joshua Downing does the fastest lap in his class. It's all going well for the leaders at this point, touch wood.
It is. How long that will last remains to be seen. I mean, we're still in with a relatively early stage of this race. 16 and a half minutes have gone. And I mean, Wellen and Muntian seem very, calm up in front. Miller as well. There's not really too much of a battle with those top three. Vavers and Hardiak follow, with Andrew Fellows spun it up in turn 1. Let's see if there's any contact from that with any of the other fellows on track, but Andrew is spun around at turn 1.
I was trying to think of one. Whoop. Oh dear, that's actually quite a big hit as well at slow speed.
Yeah, especially from turn 1.
Yeah, where you do approximately 4 miles an hour.
Exactly.
Nathan Healy with the black flag, as we can see on our graphics. Unfortunate for him, not the night he would have wanted. Is Lewis Hammond. He's up 7 places. Biggest mover inside the top 10 at the moment is Lewis in this McLaren, the Darkwing racing machine. He's got Jan Osberg just behind him in the Porsche. He's got Jan Osberg just next to him in the Porsche. Now he's got Jan Osberg in front of him in the Porsche. And, well, it was a bit friendly. Oh, where on earth did Scott Kostrick come from? Flipping heck. He appeared out of nowhere there like a Scottish Member of Parliament. Unbelievable. What was that about? He just appeared and turned into the car in front of him.
Let's have a look. They're battling up in front. Yeah, they've gone wide, and he is around the outside. Can we see it from the other point of view? I don't know who the car is on the inside, but it's difficult to see from that, really.
Nah, that'll just be incriminating. We'll watch it from here.
Let's see it then. Craig behind it all, turns in. Okay. I mean, it happens so early into the turning, doesn't it?
Bye, Jan.
Yeah. It's difficult because it looks like almost that the car's gone on the inside, it's gone deep.
Yeah.
Momentarily. And wide of the air, it doesn't look like Scott's turned in particularly early. Let's see it from here. I think it's a pretty good angle. Yeah, he's not turned in early. The other car's just not turning in at all for the corner, as if there's a car there. It's a weird one, really. You don't really see moments like that.
Yeah.
Normally that happens later on into the apex than it actually did.
Yeah, it was very strange. He didn't really go deep into the corner because he didn't get there, did he? Bit of a strange one. Sideways Games, which I believe is Nathan Healy, saying note to iRacing, pick the right chicane. We've got both, have we not? I don't think it's down to iRacing. I think blame the... actually no, it is down to iRacing because we follow the official calendar for the GT3s, I'm pretty sure. Oh, Jordan Jones's race is just going worse now. He's got a black flag, and then we've just found him sideways at the side of the road. Car 91, Chris Petty going through. Chris lost that front bumper at the start of the race, I believe. But yeah, bit of a lively one. It'll be nice to be Klaas Wellen right now, because, I mean, this seems nice and chill, does it not?
It does. And I mean, you know, in your own country, it's not a bad place to have a good race, is it? Klaas Wellen is having a lovely time at the front of the field. He's got a couple of lapped cars to maybe have to contend with, but well, there you go.
Have that.
It's not going to phase him too much. 56.2, fast lap of the race as well. Last time by, he's having a lovely time, isn't he? It's as Gary Barlow once said, his idea of a lovely day out.
A lovely day out. Yeah, he's having a cruise on the Autobahn at the moment, doing a fantastic job. And the Corvette, the unlikeliest of cars to do well here, I'd say. You've got all these German manufacturers, and then it's the Yanks that come over and say, yeah, we'll teach you how to turn right. And Klaas is doing, well, he's the class of the field, you could say. Teammates a bit further back. Sorry, go on.
Biggest impact American engineering, I think, is left on this part of the world.
Yeah.
If he is able to win this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, there's got to be a war joke in there somewhere. Toby Hardiak running...
I was making it there.
Oh, I'm so sorry, I missed that. Toby Hardiak running in 5th position, chasing down his teammate Graham Vivers. Phoenix Racing Red, chasing Phoenix Racing Blue, chasing Phoenix Racing Red. God, that's a mouthful. But at the moment, Grant Miller is just trying to lead his teammates forward in the McLaren. Pretty sure Grant Miller is the man behind Phoenix Racing. Him and Hayden Miller, who we commentated on in the A-split previously. You could just see how it sounds hesitant for Toby to get back on the power there, which is interesting. We always do think of the Mercedes as quite an understeery car, but I suppose these guys have to run it with so much front end on it to get that big old lump around, because I'm pretty sure they still use the 6.3 litre V8 in the Mercedes. But they really have to get it to work hard on that front end. Andre Muntian having another slowdown penalty, which is really opening him up now to attack from Grant Miller, although Grant seems to not want any slipstream. Strange. That's very strange. What's he doing? Oh, okay.
Slowdown penalty.
Right. He knew it from that far away. Well, Grant Miller up into 2nd place. Okay. That was a weird scenario, that, because from that far back I didn't expect that to work, but it did. Andre Muntian now down into 3rd place. His race is not unravelling, but it's certainly not getting better at this stage. I think maybe the pressures of qualifying so high up and at the front of the order got to him a little bit. Joshua Downing is handling the pressure at the moment. He's gained 5 places overall, and he's led class from the beginning. Michael Rhodes and Stuart Rice are having a good old ding-dong here. The Darkwing racing car against the Blue Sky Esports machine. The BMW back down the inside of the McLaren. Oh, they're getting very, very friendly there. And they all have to think about the fact that Jan Nage is in the picture as well in his Porsche. He is now hoping to take 3rd position in class. But still not at the halfway point here, Dara, and obviously we've got to think about pit stops as well. There's still another element to come to this race. Pit stop entry and exit is quite important here at the Nürburgring.
Not the most complicated, of course, but it can be difficult into turn 1, because you merge onto the inside line. And cars are going to be coming down there a lot quicker than you otherwise would expect. Not that you otherwise would expect, but a lot quicker than you will be coming out of the pit lane. So you've got to be careful when you're coming through there. A little bit wide from Stuart Rice. We've got a bone to pick with Stuart Rice. It's been a few weeks. He drives for Blue Sky Esport, but none of that car looks particularly sky blue to me. No, it's very Darkwing racing colours, isn't it? Feels more evening light esports. That was awful. Twilight. I don't know where that was going. There you go, that's what I was looking for. Twilight esports, just be covered in vampires. Well, there you go. Yeah. Get a picture of Rob Pattinson and so on. Oh god, no, I'd rather not. Yeah, he'd be about as miserable as I'm sure Stuart feels right now. Although he's gained 5 places in class, started 8th in class, so he's maybe not got much to be miserable about. I imagine he's a bit more happy than his picture right now. He's very serious in his picture, is Stuart. But you know what? He's serious about the performance of this BMW as well, and it's, to be fair, as much as I slate the BMW and have a dig at it every so often, because let's face it, God, it's so easy. He's doing really well with this car. He changed over from the Aston Martin earlier in the season, and it is actually very pleasant to see it going well again and being a competitive force in this series. Yeah, and when you get to this point of the race, you're thinking about strategy. I think that's a play, isn't it? But I mean, for Stuart, 2 tenths off of Michael Rhodes. I mean, they're a long way off Josh Downing. It kind of feels like we're kind of just bumbling along towards this pit stop phase. I wonder if it feels the same for some of the drivers as well. Not for Andre Muntian, because he lost P2 and he's at risk of losing P3 as well. So shame really. He was on pole position, but he's just looking back a bit in this first half of the race. Yeah, he's been hunted down by 2 Messerschmitts, old chap. You know, he's got the Phoenix Racing Mercedes chasing him down, although to be fair, Graham Vivers had a very scruffy last couple of corners. Now Toby Hardiak wants to get past his teammate and have a go at the car in front. It's like Gilles Villeneuve and Didier Pironi having a good old scrap here. None of them want to let one another through, one with headlights ablaze, one with not.
And we will all be headlights ablaze soon, I'm sure, actually, with the current conditions. We'll show you the weather on the right. It is only 21 degrees track temperature, so I imagine that feels very tasty underneath these cars. But it's 8:30 in the evening. We are running on the standard iRacing date, which is May the 15th. So we get a lovely summer-ish glow from everything. Unfortunately, there's not going to be a summery glow from Daniel Mellor. He's had a drama and dropped way down the order. Let's have a look here, Dara.
Yeah. It doesn't look like it's going to be stellar from Mellor. Let's see. A couple of corners.
Whoa.
Curb. Yeah, just losing it in the middle of the corner. Not much you could do. And that car behind, I'm not sure who that was, but worried. I think it was Craig Hewlett, actually.
It was.
He would have been a little bit nervous going through there, not wanting to get caught up in more incident than he's already been caught up in so far today. He's only down 2 spots somehow from where he started. That doesn't really tell the story of his race. But he will continue onwards. Some of these gaps are relatively large, though, for halfway through a race when we saw some very close qualifying gaps.
Yeah, it's had the complete opposite effect to what we expected. Dean Sheasby into the pits. He's decided with all these cars around him, he needs to just get into the pit lane, sort the car out and get back out there. So he's going to try and, well, what's the phrase? I know he said uppercut the opposition. I don't know how angry he gets, but he's definitely not going to uppercut anybody. He's going to undercut the opposition by coming into the pit lane nice and early. Toby Hardy certainly had a smile on his face after race 1 at Bathurst last week. Not after race 2, though, getting taken out of the very first corner. But he will certainly take a 5th place now, I'm sure. He's had a bit of a topsy-turvy season. He was very pleased. It was great to hear from him still, even after the disappointment of race 2. Last week I spoke to him at Bathurst and he said that he was so over the moon to get that first win this season. And he said it's been a long, long time since he'd won a race in SRI or ESR. And yeah, he's been very pleased. So he's on decent form again tonight, though. The Mercedes is going well here. We've got a couple of them inside the top 5, so he and his teammate Graham Vivers making the car work. It's not the most overly picked car by everybody, but I do love having a Mercedes or two in the championship. It really is a staple GT3 car for me. Let's just not overlook this man as well. I know he's in a bright yellow Porsche, but Victor Van Zijst, he's led a lot of the championship this season, but after an insane flurry of performance at Daytona and then Miami, he's just not been able to put it back together, has he?
No, he's not. It's a bit of a weird season for him overall. I think that's also a very weird line.
That was Rachel Huff, yeah.
Oh, that's why. Sorry, Rachel Huff. Going a lap down, of course. That's why I thought it was Scoot Rice for a second. I thought, no, it can't be. But Victor Van Zijst, yeah, just really up and down season. Interesting to see where he can go in the end of this race. He has been really... Oh, no. Dwayne Hoffman, sorry. Has been clobbered there by Thomas Weston. He can't really escape that one. I know it's Thomas Weston because it's an Aston Martin. And, well, there's only one of them. There's only one of them.
Yeah.
And it's him. Well, I guess Matthew Hunter's there, but he's only got 2 numbers in the car, or 3. So that was a pretty easy one to tell. But yeah. Oh, that's a nice car in the evening. Oh, Van Zijst's car's quite nice in this evening light because it blends in, doesn't it? Yeah,
it does a little bit in the golden glow and his hair. He's currently running 6.9 seconds off the car ahead and 7 seconds from the car behind, though. So he can enjoy the sunlight and the golden glow from, well, with no one's company around him, effectively. We've got a little battle going on here. Philip Harris and Rob Mackay. Rob, after that incident earlier on, is hoping to push more cars out of the way and make his way further up the order. He's gained 11 places so far, and he is really digging around in the back of that Porsche, isn't he? He's trying to find out whether it's mid-engined or rear-engined these days. He's certainly trying to make it rear-engined by putting the Mercedes engine in there. I'm sad to say that Dean Sheasby, after promising us an undercut, has had a drama.
Yeah, well, he has. Let's see it. Oh, it's just such a lazy spin, turning in too early, and that rear end just not happy.
No.
And, well, he's part of the Moonshine's Racing Club from that camera angle. I think he lived up to the team name there.
He did.
In the end. It's not been a good race for him so far. It's frustrating, that's to say. Well, I mean, it's safe to say, he started in P4 when he expected a lot more than what he's currently getting.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. There's a drink that they have around the Eifel region, actually, and if you ever go to the Nürburgring and go to the cockpit bar at the amazing Durant Hotel on the start-finish straight, you'll probably be asked to try a shot of something called Eifelgeist. And I've drunk many awful things thanks to the people behind truck racing, and I can tell you that Eifelgeist is right up there near the top of the list. It's only just probably second to Palinka. I think it's a lavender-based drink, and you have to drink it from a frozen shot glass, and you have to wear a white glove for it and everything. It's properly frozen, and it is one of the most horrific things I've ever drunk in my life. It's almost seemingly like Dean's had a little bit too much of that in the warm-up session.
It was lavender-based.
Lavender-based drink, I'm pretty sure.
Must taste like a candle then.
It tastes. I mean, I can tell you that it doesn't taste like a candle. I can tell you that it's certainly awful.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And I buy that. Yeah. Well, thank you for giving me another thing to add to my my notes app of things not to do.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
That's sort of what we've done really since starting to work together, isn't it? I've just taught Dara things not to do.
Not to do.
Yeah, it's made of fermented fruit and basically into a brandy.
Delightful.
Yeah, and well, it's created by macerating a 96% pure spirit.
Ooh, yeah.
So it's yeah.
I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah, when the ETRC turned up and said they've got a new biofuel, I wondered whether it was just that.
Yeah. Strong that.
Strong.
I'm not a big person either. It might kill me.
Yeah, it would poison you actually. Yeah.
Is there a weight restriction on it? I'm not meeting it, whatever it is. Yeah. Anyway.
Welcome to the chat.
I wonder what we're doing for the next 27 minutes, eh? But yeah. Well, if I ever go to the Eifel region, I now know what to avoid. And if I get
the locals,
someone gives me a white glove and tells me, "Oh, don't worry about it," I don't believe them.
They might have just invited you to a Michael Jackson tribute act. You never know.
There'd be more giveaways than just the white glove, though, I think.
Oh yeah. No more jokes.
And the Michael Jackson music playing, of course, Shaz.
Oh, of course, yeah. There's no music playing here. Oh, this is... Oh, wow, fair play. You know what? Graham Viva's just Glasgow headbutted the door open there on Andre Muntian and brought his teammate with him. Toby Hardy says, thanks very much. Now the two McLarens of Barry Wenman and Andre Muntian are going to fight together. Poor Andre. He's having a bit of a poor time now. He just keeps losing position after position through no major fault of his own. Barry Wenman down the inside says, thank you very much, I'll take that one as well. And the pole sitter now down into 6th place, although maybe temporarily. But you never know. He could have a decent pit stop, a well-timed pit stop as well that could put him back in front of these guys. He could try an undercut or something of the sort.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, we haven't really got through the entire pit stop sequence yet. So there is still time for it to change. It was an early stop for...
well, Josh Downing, in
Evo
fact.
leader, Josh Downing, yeah. He came into the pit a couple of minutes ago, so relatively early for him. Yeah, I mean, we'll see if it works out. Difficult to say, because, I mean, we haven't really seen too many big differences in terms of the pit stop points over the course of the season so far in these 1 hour long races. So almost surprising to see a slightly wider pit stop range here, but many people have come into the pit lane, and we are well over halfway now. It's only going to be a 30 lap race, 31 lap race in the end, so you wouldn't necessarily think there's going to be too many laps worth of a pit stop window, but
no,
it's not how it's turning out, is it?
No, absolutely not. It's certainly been an interesting one so far. It's been a bit cagey actually in a number of places. You know, some of the drivers haven't been giving it absolutely everything. They've just been sort of dialing it back bit by bit and not overcommitting to manoeuvres. You can definitely tell it's getting towards the end of the season. Usually when it gets towards the later stages of a championship, oh, there's Jordan Momar, you get, oh, that's not a nice place to be. It's got Kostrick around the outside. Thiago Reiser gets a slow down penalty as well on his way up there, actually. But I was going to say, when it gets to the end of a season, you usually get either last day of school vibes and everyone just goes mental, or you get a really chilled out atmosphere in the races where people are just holding on to whatever position they can to try and score points. And I'm intrigued to see that we've got the latter. Thomas Weston is the latest car / driver to have a drama here. Oh, it says he gets on the power. That's a weird one. And he does jump straight to the pits from there, I can tell you that for free. So, not the best night for Thomas Weston. He'll be wanting to forget this trip to Germany in a hurry.
He will. And, yeah, maybe not coming back anytime soon. Voluntarily, at least. But difficult race. Difficult race for a few drivers. And I'm going to use the football analogy again, but there you go, I'm just going to use it. You get, going back to what you said about end of season vibes, you know, you sometimes get, you know, a final day where there's about 80 goals, or there could be a final day where there's about 10. It depends what kind of mood people are in.
What sort of motorsport's that?
Like we're in the, well, yeah. I'm saying it feels like we're in that 10-goal range where everyone's just kind of happy to kind of chill and, and not do, you know, overdo it really.
Everyone's wanting to add to the clean sheets for the season.
Yeah, exactly. No one's hoping to kind of give away what they've earned to this point in the season. He's been one to press on all season long, isn't he? So good to see him carrying on. Oh, hello, good, careful. Goodness me. There's being there's looking for moves, and then there's that. Yeah. I mean, he's looking for a top 10, but that was bold.
He was nearly digging for truffles in the gravel there. That was, I mean, that gap was always closing in front of him, and he still chose to keep his nose down the inside. We saw Alex Fretwell make a move like that yesterday, but he went all the way on the grass and then said no thank you. Jan Osberg puts himself in a very strange compromised position there, puts the car on the inside, somehow doesn't lose time overall on the exit of the chicane, but that seemed like a very strange defensive line to go for very early as well, ahead of Andrew Larkman. I'm sure that every time we have that picture up, it gradually undoes the race suit a little bit more. I'm scared to see what it's like by the end of the season. But either way, Larkman is definitely putting the Porsche driver under pressure. But for our race leader at the moment, Klaus Wellen, no news is good news, isn't it?
I guess so. Because, I mean, we only talk about him to say that there's nothing to talk about him, right? And that can only be a positive thing. As he continues onwards at the front of the field. You must be wondering how long is left. Just counting down the minutes at this point. He's still not come into the pit lane. As has basically everybody in that Premier class. There's only really been of the 23 cars that we've really got left in that group. Only 3 have come into the pit lane, and only 2 of them have come in outside of the first 5 minutes of the race. So they're going a long way deep into this race, and they continue onwards. But it almost makes you think that when one person pits, they're all going to follow each other in. So
yeah.
Alspellen's probably likely to start the domino effect, maybe a lap or 2 of difference, but I can't imagine it's going to be huge, right?
No, it's not one of those races where we're going to see a big old pit window. We're going to literally just see 1 or 2 laps either side. I think somebody somewhere has clearly figured out that it's better to run for as long as you can in this first stint, keep the car nice and light, and go from there with only a little splash and dash before the end. And, well, here he is, Klaus Wellen into the pit lane, following a McLaren on his way into the pits. Who on earth was that? I think that was that Matt Stace? It was, in the DNR McLaren. Klaus Wellen's teammate in second position. I used to say that as a kid, actually. Grant Miller following him in, but Toby Hardiak has continued on and now leads this race in the Mercedes. It is Graham Vevers and Barry Wenman following him in third position. And Andre Muntian, again, he's just dropped away from these guys, hasn't he? He's not been able to stay with them whatsoever.
No.
And, sorry, Matt Stace.
Exit.
Yeah, Matt Stace was going very slowly there on pit exit, and Klaus Wellen has come out exactly where he didn't want to, and that's in traffic in his own class as well. That is not what he will want. Oh, I was just trying to find this and it didn't work out for me, so apologies, bear with me. Here we go. So this is Klaus Wellen. You're going to see Matt Stace come past him. There he is. And he gets going, and Matt is now slowing down to let some of the lead cars go. And Klaas is like, well, look, mate, I'm one of them, so I need to crack on here. Schnell, sunshine. And on he goes.
Matt at risk of being called Matt stationary.
Oh. Send James an invoice.
Delighted with that.
I'm proud.
I had it immediately, and I was sat waiting for you to finish talking just to make sure I could get it in.
That's how most conversations go with me, Dara. Actually, it's just sitting and waiting for me to finish talking. Yeah.
No, don't be silly. Just 90% of the time, not all the time. That sun's quite low, isn't it? It's going to be affecting driving into that corner.
It's a very British thing to do.
Today,
just change the subject. Oh, the weather. Good Lord.
I can't tell you how many times I've done that in the past. It's the go-to, isn't it? You're not British. I almost think that should be the citizenship test. Make someone feel awkward and see what they change the subject to. And if it's not the weather, that's it.
Make them feel awkward. Welcome. Welcome in. Yeah. Oh, nice dinghy. Right, Graham Beavers into the pit lane. And he's the only one, actually, out of that lead group, which is interesting. I expected all three of them to come in, but no. Toby Hardiak has continued on. And there's actually a bit of daylight between himself and Barry Wenman right now. So I think these two are going to be quite interesting to watch as they come through the pits. What about Klaas Wellen? He is back out. And he is ahead of, well, a number of others. But he's having to fight with Jan Osberg and Andrew Lartman. And these guys have not pitted. Graham Beavers and Grant Miller will be trying to chase him down as best they can. Michael Rhodes, Jan Nage into the pits. Denny Plurger also into the pit lane. Denny's having a pretty good run through the class as well. He's gained a few positions if I remember rightly. But Klaas Wellen, he's got another one of the Axis McLarens behind him, but it's not Andre Muntian who he's been fighting. So he won't be too chuffed to see one right behind him. So he's going to want to push forward. Let's see in the background just where Graham Beavers and Grant Miller are. They're about 7 seconds behind, actually. Look, they're just up the hill here. They've got Rachel Huff, who is a lap down just in front of them. Moving down the inside into the hairpin. Ooh, Grant looked like he was a little bit late on the brakes there into the hairpin. Just about gets it recovered. As Stuart Rice now, who's inherited the class lead, goes past his teammate.
He does. And he's ploughing onwards, isn't he? Obviously not pitted yet. But he has that 20-second advantage of Martin Brand. It's going to be a question of where he comes out compared to some of the others. Because Joshua Downing is suddenly further down the order than we expected him to be after that opening half of the race also.
There's no fancy word for that, is there?
No. I was sitting there thinking about it and then thought, can't think of it. Let's move on. But we are in towards the final quarter of the race. Is there a word? There's not a word for that either, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, and it's hooray. It has been one of the quieter races, it must be said. It has been one of the quieter races that we've done, especially these hour-long races. They usually have a lot more of a twist and turn to them, but, I mean, with the pit stop being this late on, the field has had a chance to be a bit more spread out before it, and I think that the field is going to remain quite spread out after it as well. So we'll see how the battles shape up into the final laps, because I'm sure we're going to get some absolute corkers, as we so often do here in the SimRacing International GT3 Championship. We hope you're enjoying the show here tonight with Chaz Draycott and Dara Thacker for round number 8. I can't believe we're on round 8 already. We see it every week. Can't believe how quickly we've gone through the season, but we only have 2 rounds left to go, and I'm sure it's going to be a great way to end the championship. 2 rounds in Italy, which should be a lot of fun, Dara. But I tell you, this, with all respect to everybody involved, this has been one of the quieter races.
Yeah, we'll probably get a... Well, it's German efficiency. That's what it is. That's why it's been
like
this.
Very true.
But by the time we get to Italy, goodness me,
it's going to kick off.
Ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really will. A good couple of final rounds as well to look forward to. One duo of 30-minute races next week, and then, of course, to finish off the season, we'll have that full hour-long race. So looking forward to seeing how it's going to go in the next couple of weeks to round out what has been a generally quite exciting championship. Misano I am looking forward to.
Yeah.
Especially because the rink's going to rain.
Oh, God, my poor PC.
The last race we had with rain in at Virginia, we had quite a lot of fun.
We did.
I'm hoping we get a little bit more of the same, because Misano is a circuit which does enable that kind of racing.
We did have a bit of a meltdown, didn't we, in that race?
That's one way to put it, I think.
Yeah, a positive one.
Positive meltdown.
It was a fun meltdown.
Yeah, but Misano, looking forward to Misano. Very nice, pretty part of the world as well, of course.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
As is Imola. Not far from Bologna. I've been to Bologna. My friends weren't keen on going to Imola, so I didn't go. I was very disappointed.
Oh, you need to get new friends. Oh, look at that.
I know.
I need to get new retinas.
At the end of a long week, and we were flying home from Bologna. I'm like, we've got some time, guys. To Imola. I'm like, can't be bothered. And I went, guys, please. And they went, nah.
Oh, mate.
I was heartbroken.
Oh, I don't blame you.
Anyway, I don't even have. I think it was a Frecka weekend as well. I don't think I even would have gotten to the circuit. Anyway, that's a separate point.
What year was this?
Oh, it was last year. It wasn't.
I was going to say, if it was like 21, I probably was there. Because
on
the
last year,
on the Frecka weekends actually is when Clio Cup used to support them as well, and it was
Yes.
They were very good weekends, very good race weekends with Italian TCR as well, and the ACI GT Championship, GT Open. It was fantastic. Great weekends.
We'd stayed in Florence, and that high-speed rail line that goes from Bologna to Florence goes basically directly through the valley. Oh, Danny, where's that been? Directly through the valley with Mugello.
Oh, yes.
And I still didn't get to Mugello either, so I was devastated. I went past Mugello and Imola and didn't stop at either.
Just to make it worse, they're both very pretty circuits.
I know. I know.
Mugello took my breath away when I had the honour, I'm going to call it an honour, of going there last year with Ultimate Cup. It was such a great place, but it is in the middle of nowhere. It really is. Like, I mean, any hotel that you can get near around there is usually about an hour away from the circuit. It's the same with Aragon as well in Spain. I mean, it feels like you're on Mars when you go to Aragon. It really is out in the middle of nowhere. Speaking of, go on.
No, carry on. No, you carry on.
No, I've got nothing interesting to say. Go on.
I was going to say that if you're ever asked if you needed a bit extra, then
of course.
Mugello or Aragon.
Of course, mate.
I'm just there for the photos. I'll just put them on Instagram.
Oh, it is delightful. But you're right though. Misano is just such a fantastic circuit. Even when you take away where it is located, it is just a stunning racetrack. Really exciting place to go racing, and it suits a lot of different cars as well. I think that's what's exciting about it. I've been there to witness trucks racing there. The Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship starts its season there, which is amazing. It's a track designed for bikes, and we're taking 5-ton, 1,200 horsepower racing trucks around it, with all the chicanes and the bells and whistles and everything. It's not a smooth, wider layout of it. It's just an awesome circuit. But again, the Clios go well there, Formula 4, GTs, touring cars. Everything goes well at Misano. It is one of those very, very good, well-designed circuits that can accommodate any sort of racing. And yeah, I'm very excited to see that, especially in the wet, where it is a big old challenge. But for now, 11 minutes left to go here at Nürburgring in the 8th round of the SimRacing International GT3 Championship in the B-split. And we've got the two Mercedes chasing down a McLaren, but this time it's Barry Wenman in the McLaren. He was in the pits for 3 seconds less than the cars behind him. We've seen him run out of fuel before, Dara. Hopefully this isn't the same again.
Hopefully not. Spice up the end of the race a little bit if we had a few people just coughing up across the line.
Yeah. And in the cars.
Valencia style. That'd be, well, yeah. It's Barry Wenman. Ooh, careful. That's a very tight line to defend. Barry is making sure that Toby Aliak is not in any way coming through on that line. And here, all of a sudden, here comes Graham Bowman into the discussion. All of this is just giving Clark Wellen a bigger and bigger advantage at the front of the field.
Yeah,
but
9 seconds.
Long. Yeah, we're getting a better race towards the last 10 minutes, though. It's holding up. They know that they have to go for it now.
Well, I suppose James and the team can have an easy time organising it next year. Just do 10-minute sprint races. Sound. Barry Wenman holding on, though, down the inside, putting that McLaren in the right place at the right time. As you can all see as well, the headlights have all come on now, so full headlights and fog lights ablaze for everybody. Should be very pretty going into these last 10 minutes now that the sun has properly set. We've got the glow of the headlights around this racetrack. It's not fully lit all the way around as well, so should look quite interesting. We've got two Brazilian drivers, Pete Piver and Tiago Reiser, side by side. Should be an interesting battle between these two. Two very different cars as well, the Porsche versus the McLaren. Looks like the McLaren, well, I was going to say he's going to come out on top here, but the Porsche of Thiago Reiser having another great race. He gained something like 27 places back at Bathurst before he had his incident. And even now, he's gained 25 positions from right near the back of the order. There's been the change. Toby Hardiek and Graham Vivers going past Barry Wenman here. He's lost the places. Oh, dearie me. Let's see how it happened.
Here we go. Load up the replay file. Let's see what's developed. Barry Wenman.
Whoa.
Doing well into that corner. And then the car said, absolutely not, sir. And Toby Hardiek said, thank you. Graham Vivers said, thank you. Now Barry Wenman's got it all to do once again. Grant Miller's there as well. I mean, now it's a 4-car battle for the second. I mean, where's this come from, realistically? They were all kind of muddling around each other, but not really doing anything about it. And all of a sudden, they've now decided that, well, hang on, chaps. Well, there's only 8 minutes on the clock. We better do something now.
Yeah, they've gone flipping heck, podium. What? And now, yeah, they want to really get on with it. Grant Miller is actually where he started this race. He's one of 2 drivers inside the top 10. Jan Osberg has been in 10th position for about 6 weeks. He's been there all the way through this race, and I don't remember seeing him in any other position. It's quite remarkable. Michael Rhodes has found his way back to the front of the Evo class. Joshua Downing is now down in 4th position in class. Stuart Rice holding on to 2nd, doing a great job in that BMW. And Jan Nage has moved up from 5th place into 3rd in the Porsche. He is right behind that BMW. Rather be behind it than in front of it. But again, with not long left to go, the battle is very much on for these Evo class positions because Joshua Downing isn't too far behind them. It just so happens that there's 2 Premier class drivers between these guys and their nearest Evo competitor.
Yep. And Nage has done a good job in the second half of this race, particularly, I think, to really put himself up towards that top 3 and solidify his position.
Hello.
A bit close through there. But he's right behind Stuart Rice as well, so P2 could very well be on the cards for him in the final 7.5 minutes of this race. Steve Hughes, that was going a little bit deep. He's had a bit of an up and down race himself in that UKSR Norris entry. I'd love to ask him who his favourite Formula 1 driver is, Shaz.
George Russell.
Yeah, Oscar Piastri.
Well, it's not going to be Lance Stroll, is it? Come on.
Oh, if it is, it'd be fantastic.
Oh, God, imagine being inspired by him. Barry Wenman currently running in 4th position. Grant Miller, like I say, still sitting in 5th place. I think at this stage, he's just waiting for this battle to sort of reignite in front of him. But these 2 Mercedes have been doing a wonderful job of just sticking together all the way through this run. It's been great to watch it. And we have to point out as well that it's currently a Phoenix Racing 1, 2, 3. It's blue, red, blue. Classwell and Toby Hardiek and Graham Vivers. What a fantastic night this is looking to be for the team. They've got 4 cars inside the top 5 and all. So, yeah, I'm sure Grant will have a big old smile on his face. He will do if that BMW behaves.
He will. Yeah, and it does.
A BMW moving over for someone.
After you, sir. You don't get that on Slip Roads, do you?
No. And I'm one of them.
Lying as if there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
And sometimes, sadly, there's not, so you've got to be careful. Daniel Mellor looking to try and make a move here on Mr. Harris. Mellor is harassing Harris. Is that? No, that's too much of a stretch, I think. Down towards turn 1.
You'll incriminate him.
He's going to come up. No, I didn't say anything, Your Honour.
Yeah.
But Daniel can't do anything yet.
Yeah. Not quite. Daniel having a fantastic run earlier in the season. I remember a great race from him at Miami earlier on in the championship. Took a race victory, if I remember rightly, as well. And now, different scenario, safe to say. Rob Mackay's having a good run for now. We know Rob. It's likely that he'll spin. But you know what? He's doing a great job in that Mercedes. 15 places gained, 7 in class. There's been a bit of drama here with Dean Sheasby. How many times have we said that this season? He's having a fight with Thiago Reiser as well. 2 of the most lively drivers together on the circuit. This, this might not be the most boring thing to watch, to be fair. Circuit sky at the moment resembling Lava Land from TOCA Touring Cars 1. Very orange hue at the moment. That's another game you won't remember, actually. If anyone remembers Lava Land, flipping out. Back when touring cars and their games had a lot of satire, they had these very realistic looking liveries and car models for a 1997 touring cars game, but then you could drive a 1960s Cadillac or a tank, and there was a racetrack on in the middle of a volcano, as you do, because clearly Alan Gow had ambitions. Ooh, so does Daniel Mellor.
Oh, inside. Is he going to make this one work? No, not quite. And Harris still hangs on. There's only a couple of laps left to go, and I think 3 when they cross the line. As they come around this final turn once again. Mellor really putting the pressure on, but it isn't really affecting Harris yet. I mean, they're a long way off the back of Larkman, who is on his own in P11, but it's good to see that you're still battling over relatively minor positions in the points. There's not a minor position that's changed in the Evo class, though Jan Nodger's got through on Stuart Rice was the slowdown for P2.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, to see just how these battles are shaping up now. Jan Nage indeed up a place. There was a big drop of revs there. I thought there was a problem. Andrew Larkman has just gone off track, but that's not what I was trying to look at. Thank you, software. This is what happened to Stuart Rice. Oh, he's going around the final corner. He must have had a slow... Oh, he's missed a gear or something. And Jan Nage just nips by on the right-hand side. Thank you. Easily done.
Step up the order. And now she's now P2 with only a couple of laps to go. If he can hang on here, be a delightful result for the Swede. Looking very cool with the sunglasses and the baseball cap there.
Absolutely.
I wonder if we could talk to him about IKEA in reference to last night, James.
I don't think we've ever mentioned a silly topic that much. I just wanted to point out, actually, Philip Harris, who we were talking about before, 13 places gained in class, 24 places gained overall, and he has pitted. Don't let that fool you and think that, you know, he's still got a pit. He is having an absolute whale of a time as Philip Harris, although, you know, aside from Daniel Mellor trying to rip the rear bumper off his Porsche, he's having a fantastic night of it in the privateer entry. Although, Mellor wants to go back down the inside again, tries it once more, tries to outbrake him, nothing doing this time, gives him lots of room, says thank you, I'll just defend the same line again this time, cheers mate. Very good. They've got to be careful though, because, there's a send by Mellor. No, tries to scare him out of it, and Philip Harris says no thank you. But they've got Michael Rhodes closing in the McLaren all this time, the class leader in Evo. He is 6.5 seconds ahead of Jan Nage, so not much to worry about with what will be 2 laps to go. But he doesn't really want to get caught up in the battle in front, as Craig Hewlett, ever the entertainer, has picked up a black flag, unfortunately, for going over the incident limit.
Yes, we'll have to come down pit lane. I don't think he'll be terribly pleased with probably how he's picked up that incident, all those incident points. Some of them he will quite, I think, successfully claim were not his fault, but it's not going to help him out when he's coming out of the pit lane, as mandated by the iRacing system, and that's going to lose him another couple of spots, probably drop him maybe outside the top 10. It's going to be close with Harris and Mellor, actually, and he's only going to have 1 lap after coming out, isn't he? So he's not really going to be able to do too much to recover from there.
You know when we comment on how someone's having a really good night?
Oh God! Oh no!
I don't know why we do. If they're having a good night, we need to come to some agreement here, Dara, that if someone's having a good night on iRacing and a really good run through the order that we haven't noticed, we just pretend we still haven't noticed it. Don't bring it to the attention of everybody. Because Philip Harris, I mean, he still gained 7 places in class, 14 overall, but as of this incident, he hath not.
Does he get a tap? Oh, he gets it.
Oh, that's ugly. That is ugly by Mellor. Unnecessary send down the inside. He didn't really need to go that hard on it. But he did, and Philip Harris, I'm sure, will be off to tell the stewards about that one. Class Wellen, though, it's quite the nice story, this, actually. I hate the word nice, but it's a lovely story, isn't it? He's going to take the win on home soil here in Germany in an American car, of all things. But what a fantastic drive he has put in this evening here. He's been relatively untouchable at the front of the order, and once he got that lead off Andre Muntian, who has now dropped down to 7th place, he just didn't look back.
He didn't. Klaas Wellen has been the glass of the field today. He has just been exemplary. Got P2 in qualifying, just lost out in the final couple of minutes. But he recovered to get the lead in the first 5 minutes of the race and has not looked back. And yeah, it's been a perfect evening for him, really. Ironically, if you were rating it out of 200, you'd probably give him his race number for how well he's done tonight. That's just the kind of quality that he has shown over the course of the evening. And already flashing the lights. He's going to be a happy chappy in a minute.
He must know we're talking about him. We've got a fan. I know that some of the drivers do listen as we drive. I'm just going to wait for him to get the chicane and go, boo! But no, Klaas Wellen, as we've said, low-hanging fruit of a pun, but he has been the class of the field. And, well, a football pundit would tell him, well in, Wellen. And there he is, round the final corner. Klaas Wellen takes a fantastic victory on home soil at the Nürburgring in the SimRacing International GT3 Championship. 2 Mercedes join him on the podium in very German fashion. And what a night for Phoenix Racing. 4 cars inside the top 5 for those guys. A great result by all involved. Victor van Zijst is going to come home 6th after a very under-the-radar performance. And it's André Muntien next up. Michael Rhodes is surely going to win in the Evo class, Dara. I can't see anything stopping this happening. What do you think?
No, neither can I. As he comes into the final couple of corners, Michael Rhodes has been another driver who's gone under the radar a little bit so far this evening, but that's because he's just been so consistent out front. He's going to deserve his win in the Evo class.
Absolutely will do. Michael Rhodes makes it 3 from 3. 2 race victories last week at Bathurst and a victory here tonight at the Nürburgring. He stakes his claim on the championship into the final stages. Jan Nage is going to come home in 2nd position. Lovely drive by him. He finishes ahead of Stuart Rice in the BMW. Jordan Maymar not too far behind as well. A lot of movement up and down the order. Thiago Reiser once again gaining a hell of a lot of positions. 24 by the time the race ends. This guy is, well, he's a lightning bolt through the order, isn't he? Yes.
Thiago P19 in the end. I mean, a decent enough result after that qualifying session. Pete Paeva, by the way, we haven't mentioned his name. P22. I mean, not a horrendous evening for Pete, of course. Not as good as I'm sure he would have expected, but goes to show how good that podium was at Virginia.
Yeah.
Because he's finished 93 seconds off the lead here, outside the top 20. But yeah, great to see those storylines all the way through the field, because there's been a lot of drivers on the track tonight. And even though not much has happened, I think they'll each have their own stories to tell afterwards.
They absolutely will do. Sorry, it took me a moment to go through the graphics there. I had some sort of weird glitch, but what's known as the DPI on my mouse, how quickly it moved, went all the way down to 100 for a moment, and it was taking me like a good 5 scrolls to get it to move across one window. Not quite sure what on earth caused that, but I hope to never experience it ever again. So, we'll have a look then at the results here from the Nürburgring tonight, and what a fantastic night of racing we did have. Like we said, one of the quieter nights of the season, but still a very, very hard-earned win for Klaas Wellen. Fantastic drive. Phoenix Racing, blue and red, both celebrating on the podium with Hardiak and Vivas in 2nd and 3rd. Barry Wenman, great drive from him. He finishes 4th, just ahead of Grant Miller. Then we have Victor van Zijst ahead of André Muntien. Our pole sitter just couldn't quite hold it together at the front of the order throughout the entire race, but still, he'll be happy with that result all the same. Lewis Hammond was 8th ahead of Jan Osberg, and Craig Hewlett completes the top 10 even with a drive-through penalty. Daniel Meller finished 11th ahead of Rob Mackay and Andrew Larkman, with Scott Kostrick next up, then Jordan Maymar and Steve Hughes, with Philip Harris and Thiago Reiser next up just behind. Then it was Stephen Kershaw and Simon Clifton ahead of Pete Paeva, Dean Sheesby, Andrew Fellows, and then Robin Aston, a lap down the championship leader. Thomas Weston, Dwayne Hoffman, Nathan Healy, Mark Kent and Steve Rubino not completing the race. And Dara, what about the Evo class, my friend?
Well, it was a win for Michael Rhodes, who got about a 6-second advantage in the end of Jan Nodge. It was close to himself and Stuart Rice, but the late mistake from Stuart means that Jan gets the 2nd spot on the podium and Stuart 3rd. Joshua Downing, long-time leader, pitted a little bit early. Didn't work out in the end for him, finished in 4th, but he was well clear of everybody else. Rob Gregg, James Fraser, 5th and 6th with Dave Collier, Denny Plurger, Chris Petty, and Gareth Newton running out the top 10. Matthew Hunter, the only other driver within a minute of our race winner, and Martin Brandon, officially the only other driver on the lead lap. Danny Weir, Andy Schell, David Pilcher inside the top 15, and Matt Stace, Jordan James and Rachel Huff just a singular lap down before Paul Mathy, who didn't really get off the line, finishes last.
I've just seen in the Discord that Andre Montien is definitely not happy with the result. He's very unhappy with the result there, actually, starting on pole position and finishing down in 7th. So we'll maybe not have a word with him. But what we'll do is get some music on the go, and we'll have a chat. Oh, of course we speak to our race winner. Klaas Wellen joins us in the commentary box. Klaas, congratulations. You must be very happy to have taken a win on home soil.
Yeah, it was a good race, good practice the week, so pace was good and also a lot of fun. We had the team members, Phoenix guys behind me. It was a lot of fun.
Certainly did. It looked like a good laugh out there in the Corvette. It seemed like a car that went very well round here tonight. Was there anything in particular that it did really well?
I felt was good on the brakes, good traction in the low speed corner, so I just felt comfortable, and I think that's always a good thing while racing.
It certainly looked like a nifty car to have around there tonight. What was the well? I was going to say, were you guys all in the same voice chat in the team over the course of the night? What was the general vibe, if you were?
Yeah, the 4 guys in Phoenix guys that finished in the front, we were all in a group chat, and everyone was having fun. I mean, it's 4 guys in the top 5. It's a good result overall, so everyone was happy. Feeling good with the track, so it was a lot of fun.
Smashing stuff. Well, we've got obviously 2 very important rounds left to go, Misano and Imola. How are you feeling going to those 2 rounds?
I mean, it's going to be interesting with the rain. The track is going up and down, so a lot of puddles. I think it's going to be a stay on track to finish in the good positions. So it's going to be interesting.
It certainly will be. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to while we've got you in the box?
Yeah, I mean the Phoenix guys. It's been a lot of fun this season and last season. It's just been a lot of fun. So shout out to the guys at Phoenix.
That's the main thing. As long as you're having a lot of fun with it, mate, that's what matters. Well done again, Klaas. Fantastic win, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Good night.
Klaas Wellen, clearly very happy to win on home soil there with the guys around him, and well, can you blame him? I mean, a brilliant result, and to have 4 cars in the top 5 in such a competitive championship, it's a hell of a night at the office, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, and fantastic evening for him, really, overall. I think for him to be able to come out on top in the way that he has really does go to show that, after a difficult season, can sometimes come good when you don't expect it.
The beginning of that song always scares the life out of me. I always think something's going wrong. Nothing went wrong for Michael Rhodes tonight. He's with Dara Thacker. Have a good old chin wag.
Yeah, evening, Michael. Welcome in. Well done on the win, of course. That felt pretty quiet for you. How was it out front? Did it feel stressful? Did you feel under pressure? Or were you able to kind of relax towards the end of that race?
Before the pit stop, I was stressed, very stressed. Cause Josh was ahead of me, and Jewett was chasing me down, and that was intense because I know Jan was quite close. So yeah, before the pit stop, I was very stressed, and then after the pit stop, I was surprised on the gap I had. To be fair, so I'll take that. Thank God.
Yeah, and I mean, for you, a really good time to get this win under your belt, right? Leading the championship coming into tonight, this is just going to extend it that a little bit further. And you're going to have it's going to feel pretty comfortable, right? It's going to be well over 60 points, probably more like 70 points of a championship gap going into the final 2 weeks of the season. Does it feel in any way comfortable, or are you still feeling like the pressure's on to perform the next 2 weeks?
Knowing how quick some of these guys are, I'm definitely going to just keep my eye on it. I'm just going to keep going, pushing for it, because I could make one big mistake on both races and that's it. So it's going to keep going and keep being consistent.
It's going to be key as well. At Misano next week, rain looks like it's going to be slightly inclement as well. Of course, we had it at Portimao. We've had it in Virginia as well. Is Misano and some rain something you're looking forward to with the championship lead to defend?
Misano, don't know because I've not really driven it. Rain, yes, love rain. I think I got second at Portimao and I did well in VAR, so I'm looking forward to the rain. Bring it on.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be good. A good race in a few days, or 2 good races, 2 30-minute races, of course, next week. Thank you for joining us, there, Michael. Before we let you go, is there someone you'd like to give a shout out to on the screen?
Shout out to the team again, DWR, fantastic team, and also shout out to my mate Gav, who was in the Discord, keeping me sane and not stressed.
Well said. But thanks, Michael. Well done on the win, and yeah, good luck for next week.
Thank you.
Michael Rhodes having another brilliant night in the championship, and like I say, he'll be over the moon with that one to lead him into quite a comfortable final part of the season, I'm sure. What I want to do is bring in Toby Hardiak for a quick chat. Toby, after last week, obviously mixed emotions because of a win and then a DNF, but now right back onto the podium. You must be quite happy with that.
Yeah, I am very happy with that. I must say I was too happy with the win last week to bother about the DNF in the second race. I think it was an unfortunate accident, and we move on. But then today I think it was even more fun to watch and drive and just be a part of that. I think a great team drive as well. And Glass absolutely ran away with it.
It certainly looked great. I mean, the Mercedes was definitely a formidable car tonight by the look of it. But it was interesting that you ran all the way through with your teammate, almost right together. What was the vibe like in the chat there?
I must say we weren't really talking about it much. It was just we were just racing and keeping pace with each other. And car felt great. I think we swapped positions a couple times due to some mistakes I made, and then I think Graham made a slight mistake going into the final sector, and we even just swapped places again. But the general vibe was very good. Everyone was just we knew what the goal was. It was a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we just missed it unfortunately. But a 1, 2, 3 is still really amazing to achieve as a team.
I was going to say, I imagine it's still not a bad one to realise that you've got after a night like that. We go to Misano next time out in the rain. How confident are you going there?
Well, I must say I wasn't planning on driving Misano. I've had issues in Portimao. I actually drove quite a good race, but with the rain and just the way my PC handles it, I got very nauseous. And then I think I missed VIR because I had work commitments. And I wasn't planning on driving Misano, so I haven't bought the track yet. I've never driven it, so I'll have a look later this week.
I was going to say, you can take it from me that it's a fantastic racing circuit, but at the end of the day, it's down to personal preference, and I'm very aware of that. Either way, we've got, unfortunately, not much time left of the broadcast, so is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, just to the team, the whole entire team and the team sponsors. I think we've driven an amazing race today, and it showed on stream and in the results. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Great to speak to you as always, Toby, and we'll see you again soon. Well done.
Have a good one, guys.
Cheers. Toby Hardiak, absolutely lovely guy, and yeah, you can tell that it meant a lot to them guys tonight to get that many cars inside the top 5.
Yeah, it really does, and nice, I think, for them to have a good evening's worth of racing, and not necessarily to be so frantic and hard fought, to have a good night, and I think it's gone that way for them tonight.
Definitely has. A wonderful evening for Phoenix Racing. Blue and red, 2 cars of each team inside the top 5. Barry Wenman, a solid result in 4th place as well, and a good win by Michael Rhodes in the Evo class. That, unfortunately, is all we've got time for here tonight on SimRacing International. But thank you, as ever, to Dara for being such a joy to commentate with. Thank you so much to the drivers for putting on such a good show, and all the organisers and everybody involved, and you for watching as well. We hope you've all had a fantastic evening, and we'll see you in a week's time when we head to Misano.
Stop the time, 'cause I wanna freeze this moment, make it mine, hold you close, now my heart's wide open, when I'm with you suddenly I feel no pain, do you make it go away, do you make it close. Now my heart's wide open. When I'm with you, suddenly I feel no pain. Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away?